Hello, Aries friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Aries August 2024 Astrology Horoscope forecast. Calling the theme of this month Thrill Ride Amplified, and I will get into why I'm saying that, as well as a lot of very intense things going on this month. I'll give you a quick summary of all the layers that make up the wildness of this month. We've got a ton of fire. Wow, great news for us, Aries placements. I have Aries rising with you, so I'm super excited about this. We also have a second blue moon in a row. That's very rare, and that's in a great sign for us too. Then we have eclipse season. This is a very big deal, especially because we're in an Aries Libra eclipse cycle. So we have been in the hot seat for profound changes since early 2023. In recent months, everything has sort of died down into a little bit more of our new normal based on the changes that came, but we're in eclipse season now, so we're in for it and look for those radical changes to happen again. For better or worse, here they come. The reason why we have to talk about this in August, even though the eclipses are in September and October, is because eclipse season starts at least 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes more, before the first eclipse, which is September 17th. So all of August is covered in possibilities for big things, trajectory shifting, life-changing events to happen for Aries. One caveat is that it is all through the lens of Mercury retrograde. So information may come in at this time, but it may be a little while still before we know what the heck to do with it or what it means. But it's definitely ripe and ready for things to go on, and things are going to start rolling again. Things are going to get very wild. And in some ways, there's a chance for the best times of our lives, and there's a chance for the worst times. It's a thrill, it's an adventure, it's, the best, the worst. We don't know what we're in for. But added to that, we've got all of these Leo placements, which is where we're going to start. So I am going to drop the charts in later if you're interested in that at the end. This is for you if Aries is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Aries placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And very late degree Aries friends, so birthdays like April 15th through the rest of the sign. Or degrees like 23 degrees to the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Taurus report because your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. Okay, so let's get into, in order, the things that I discussed. I'm going to go from shorter term to longer term so that we can build up in that way. When there are fellow fire sign transits, so Sagittarius or Leo for Aries, this is a power time. It's so full of powerful possibilities that open up thrill, adventure, excitement, all of it, name it. It's open up for us, and it's very exciting because remember also everything that goes on in the Aries chart, and I'll show you this later when I drop the charts in, anything that happens in a certain sign also happens in that corresponding house for Aries, because we have what's called a natural chart where everything lines up in the house that it rules, which intensifies everything for us. So when we have a lot of intensity, it's even then so much more for us, which is part of why we are and who we are the way we are and how we are the way we are. So we've got the Sun, Vesta, Venus, Mercury in retrograde, and the new moon on August 4th, all in brilliant Leo, all making the best angle possible in astrology for us, all lighting up our fifth house ruled by Leo, which brings creative inspiration off the chain. You may notice that every year around this time, you have all of these great ideas and you're so excited and there are possibilities. And, you may have just like creativity benders where your output is just alarming. And if you're a content creator or, just a prolific hobbyist or whatever it is, you may find that in this period of time, you can create something that can last a lifetime, as far as showing back up for you, if you have some exchange for this or just in your fulfillment. This is a time when romance can be off the charts, true love energy, fun with children, your own or others, topics of pregnancy, child rearing, kids is all off the chart. These are all positive energies that are coming up, at least as it relates to the angle with the Aries placements. There could be other challenges or things that happen with other placements in your chart that I can't see. This is just from the Aries lens. So your creativity will be unhinged. You will want to make some time to record down all the great ideas that you have. And that really jives very well for this Mercury retrograde. So I'm just going to give you the dates for that now. July 17th, we stop our big open window of pushing forward and the tides coming out, and we start to have the tides come in. the monumental nature of this inward facing tide is not just for the normal Mercury retrograde cycle. It is for a long time, because we will have a brief pop out in September after Mercury finishes its thing. I'll give you these dates in a second. But then shortly after that, our ruler Mars will start its long retrograde shadow period before it's the actual retrograde. So we're going to be inward and backward for a very long time. We're going to get into a lot of, like deep inner personal kind of things closer to us. And, that can be all fun and well, but Aries likes action, right? We like action and productivity. And so this period of time, even though we're in a retrograde, is going to be full of that, because the fire energies will make up for some of the retrograde energies. So it's like it's bubbling up, but it's going inward. So that's what's happening. So anything from the past, unfinished projects, unfinished topics, in love or with children, you may go back over things. You may go back to things that you adored before. Anything that is basically making you like the earthworm, where you go over soil over and over again, in the front, out the back, as the earthworm does, right? That basically creates super fine, fertile soil for new growth. So that's happening. We also want to be the spider this month, because, so I was going to give you the dates. July 17th through August 4th is when Mercury does its shadow period thing. And then August 4th, it gets into retrograde. August 28th, it goes direct. And then it takes until September 12th to regain its speed. Okay. So all of August is covered in this retrograde, and we're going to be the spider and let things come to us. Not super easy as an Aries. We like to go get things and make things happen and, be active, and we will be able to be active. We'll just have to be more active on things from the past, more active on the squeaky wheels that are in front of us. So we are going to stay on the shore and let the waves bring us what they will. And it will be a surprise all the time. Maybe a dolphin will come up, or, hey, I've even had a manatee, seen a manatee at the beach, which, that's not common, but you never know what the tides are going to bring in. Or it could bring in garbage that you have to deal with, figuratively, or maybe literally. So, this is basically a time where you just chill, you let things come to you. And the better you get at this month, the more it's going to set the precedence for the long, our ruler going retrograde thing, where we have to get really good at that. So it's just kind of starting a long cycle of that. But I think it's great. I personally love this type of what's happening here for us, because, like I said, I can't speak about this without also speaking about what's coming with Mars retrograde, because they lead into each other. But we get a chance to take a break from ourselves and how we are in this time. And this is like ushering that in. So it's like the pressure's off. We can go through our list and say, wow, do I really need to do that? No, actually, I don't. Never mind. Put it off, and Aries doesn't tend to be procrastinating. We tend to be ahead of the game, right? But we may get more ahead of the game by taking some time out. And amazing creative ideas might come for how we can, like, get through blocks that had been coming. So this is just a really fun time. Now, we'll also have strong Virgo energies present throughout the month, because Mercury starts out there, then it retrogrades into Leo. We'll also have star goddess Estrella, star goddess Juno, and then the sun and Venus will get into Virgo. So there's a lot of grounded energy, practical energy. So it's like inspiration and practicality. It's motivation and inspiration combined with the getting it done part, which, is very satisfying to Aries, because we really do love that. So when inspiration forms into outcomes, that's always particularly fulfilling for us. And the chance for that to happen is now. You can get through a whole bunch of piles of old stuff, clear out old clutter, revitalize your space, clear off your desk, end old, unfinished projects, or find joy in going back to revising unfinished projects. This is very much leading to revision and redoing and reconsidering. You may see people from the past. You may get blasts from the past when they contact you. All of this is exciting. You may have health processes that worked well for you in the past. You may go back to those. This is a sector of health and animals and our daily routine and our daily work. So there's something about getting into a new rhythm that's revitalized by Leo, but set by Virgo. And there's something from the past that's factoring into it. So it's like some kind of old rhythm that's coming back, but it's refreshed. It has, it's polished in some way. Okay, so now let's talk about the supermoon, blue moon. Why the heck do we have 2 blue moons in a row type of topic? This is very much on my mind because it's exciting. Blue moons have 3 definitions of what makes a blue moon. That's why, in this case, we're having 2 blue moons in a row. One is if there's the second full moon in a calendar month, or a second full moon in a zodiac sign, which is what we had in July. That was the second full moon in Capricorn, and that's what we had then. And that highlighted our work and career sector and employment and father figures, etc. And so this blue moon is a third definition, which is astronomical. It has to do with the third full moon in a series of 4 after the summer solstice, but before the fall equinox. And that's a seasonal blue moon. And that happens more rarely than the other full moons. So this is like a 33-month, almost 3 years, time frame. So even though we're in the retrograde, we can have something that can echo out for 3 years. We can have things from the past come back around and a new cycle begin with them. We could go back to things from the past and then have a short run with them, a few years or something like that before it cycles out. Or we can embark on something that takes us 3 years, and it may be something that we loved from the past. Passion and purpose is going to be interlaced with everything that goes on now because of all of that Leo energy. And, so this once in a blue moon energy can bring those type of topics and timelines up. Now, for the actual moon, it's at 27 degrees of Aquarius. So this is in the Aquarius sign. It's in the Aquarius house for Aries. This has to do with groups, social media, teams, humanitarian efforts, internet-based projects, technology, futuristic thinking, anything like that. So there's a lot of fullness, completion, fruition, drama, for better or worse, in that arena, or those arenas. Now, this can be great for all of us, but those of us who are in the late degree spectrum, which I say us, I'm not actually there, but those of you who are between 22 degrees and the rest of the sign, the closer to 27 degrees, the more you'll get a kiss from this super moon, blue moon. Oh, and it's a super moon, so it is closer to us. And the gravitational effects are more profound, and it can put water where it's not supposed to be. And it's, going to look bigger in the sky, by the way. So those equate to the dates of so we're talking about the Aries late degree. So like April 12th through the rest of the sign, and the closer to around April 17th, April 18th, somewhere in there, you all may get more of a notable, obvious outcome from this or a bigger kiss from it, but nobody's being left out of it. So don't worry about that. Okay, so now let's move on to the bigger picture things. Actually, before that, I just want to mention that Mars is going to finish out its Gemini run this month, and it won't be back for another couple of years. It's joined Jupiter and will combine with Jupiter this month, and Jupiter is in Gemini for a year until June 2025. Both of those placements and their connection are highlighting not only the sign of Gemini, but for Aries, also the house of Gemini. Again, I'll show you the visual on this later. So this is amplifying our teaching and learning. The polarity of Gemini versus Sagittarius really has to do with taking in information and putting it out. So you may be very obsessed with studying something. You may be very obsessed with writing or taking in the word, reading or listening to audiobooks, or just something having to do with words coming in and going out, and information coming in and going out. And that is very strong and obsessive for this month. And it has been, for July too, July and August. And it will be very strong, for a year. So you may be embarking on something that gets you excited, that you're just riveted, and, that is thrilling. So all of this energy of of this thrill that I alluded to with the title is coming from the fire energy that's lining up. It's coming from the air energy that is sweet for us, both through the super blue moon and through Jupiter and Mars. And it's also coming from, so on that topic, the new moon is on August 4th, and that's at 12 degrees of Leo. So everyone can have yummy new beginnings in the Leo things. But those of us who are between 7 degrees and 17 degrees, the closer to 12 degrees, the more you may get a kiss or noticeable outcome from that. So this time, that's like May 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th through like April 7th, 8th, 9th, the closer to around the 2nd or 3rd, the more you may get a kiss from that one. So yeah, this is just, it's thrilling. These are elements that are adding to our fire, enhancing our fire, enhancing the thrills, enhancing the intensity, and just, really, really exuberant. Okay, so now let's talk about the eclipses. We've got now 2 eclipse cycles at play. From the beginning of 2023 until early 2025, we have the Aries Libra eclipse cycle that has been radically changing our lives. I know my life has been so completely changed, it's crazy. It would make your head spin to know what has gone on since the early 2023 timeframe, and I know more of that along those lines is coming for us. So we have that happening. Not only is it accentuating our me versus we sector in the signs, it's also in those houses for us. As I keep telling you, everything is duplicated for us that way. So we're restructuring our autonomy versus us merging with other people. We're restructuring, codependency, independency, interdependency, autonomy. All of that is just getting shuffled around. And, as we lead up to the October 2nd, 10-degree Libra eclipse, which again, I'm talking about early because we tend to feel these things early because we are in eclipse season now. This is about things coming to a head with relationships. This is about things culminating. This is about, endings and beginnings. In this case, it's a solar eclipse. So a new chapter to relationships is building, a new level, a new layer. And sometimes those new things are built by the ending of something else in its old form or an actual relationship. So this is really, really front and center for us. Key relationships are changing radically, especially our relationship with ourselves and our relationship to relationship, period. Okay, so now the new storyline that's coming in is the Pisces Virgo storyline. This happens now through into 2027. So we'll be here for a while. This again highlights not only the Pisces Virgo stories, but the houses that correspond with that are the same, double time for us. This has to do with chaos versus order and systems versus abstract things. Connectivity to everything versus like the mundane individual things. Practicality versus spirituality, logic versus intuition, our mental, emotional, spiritual health versus our physical health, our daily practices and our spiritual practices. All of these things are what is coming up. So we can look for a lot of changes in our daily space. This is our pets and animals. This is our workspace, or whatever you do every day is being very much highlighted by these eclipses. And since this is at 25 degrees of Pisces, this is culminating in the unconscious mind. So it might be time for Aries to give up an addiction, to confront a fear, to delve deep into your wellspring of creative space of your emotional realm. This can have to do with art or artistic ventures that maybe you haven't had time for before, or if you are an artist, this can just enhance it. But this lunar eclipse energy happening September 17th at 25 degrees Pisces, but already very present now all through August, can close out something that has been in your way, something you've been afraid of, something that has been holding you back, something that has been a limitation for you, can just get karmically cleared and wiped clean. And that's something very important to remember about eclipse season and eclipse cycles, is that they relate to our karma and our dharma, the things that we came here to reframe, the things we came here to be basically transformed into our highest expression in this lifetime, and the gifts and that can help us to do that, and the limitations that are holding us back from living in our highest expression. So it's very karmic in that way. And you may notice in those few months that cluster around eclipse time that it could be very much karma clearing. And you may have seen this happen in since 2023, that these eclipses come and now all of a sudden something that was an issue is just not an issue anymore. Something that was your story forever just doesn't even matter. And that there will be a continuation of that going on here for both sets of eclipses, where maybe you had a health issue, not an issue anymore. Maybe you had an addiction, all done and all cleared. So sometimes there has to be an intensification for some people, or a realization or an acceptance that something's an issue to be able to do something about it. Or maybe you didn't even know that it was a problem, and the eclipse energy can bring it up. but it can help you to navigate the waters of clearing it out and putting it behind you. So it's very exciting. Okay, so I've given you a bunch of dates for this month. If you want more, go to anniehelpsyou.com. So basically, if you're waiting for the visuals, I will get to them in just a minute. I'm going to close out everyone who doesn't want to watch the visuals. So if you want to know all of the nuisance dates this month, we have so many. It's really annoying. It's kind of a record. I haven't seen this many nuisance aspects in a while. I haven't had time to talk about that, but a lot of them are just like fast moving. They just annoying and pass, annoying and pass. But I have all the dates for them, my favorite dates of the month, other important dates of the month, more about the blue moon and the eclipses. So go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in there, receive the welcome letter, click on the archive, and put August 2024 astrology in there, and you will get the sweet and salty write-up. If you want to study astrology with me and you resonate with how I teach and you want to learn, then there couldn't be a better time for joining that community, because I have a double blue moon promo, which is when you sign up for my astrology certification course, you get all of the other courses in my school for free. So it's a crazy double moon promo. It will go to the end of August. I think I have like August 28th, somewhere around there. Or if they close up before then, you'll know that it's in effect if you see it on the website, which is beastropro.com, beastropro.com. Also, these links are in the notes underneath the video and the podcast. Okay, so for those of you who are waiting patiently for the visuals, I will put those in now. Okay, so I'm just going to blow through the things that I discussed to give you the visual. We've got the fifth house manifesting in huge ways, both through the sign and the house. The sun, the new moon on August 4th, Vesta, Venus, Mercury will retrograde, all in this house of our thrills, of our pleasures, of our fun, of our bucket list, of creativity and romance and children and joy and wonder and hobbies and all of that. So brilliantly lit up. And then as the month progresses, the sun and Venus will get to join Estrella and Juno in Virgo, in the house, in the sign. This is deepening our new, rituals and our new habits and our new daily routine. And this is opening up not only for a strong, August into September of this focus, but it's actually opening up until 2027, a long-term focus in this area because of the Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle that is being opened up. And of course, we still have two outer planets in Pisces. So, our inner world is becoming much more important to us at this time, and we're shuffling around a lot of energy with our day-to-day schedule. Sixth house is very much like you have to watch the time, watch the clock, get everything done. 12th house is very much timeless and in the complete flow on God's time. So there's this story of your relationship with time that's very much coming up now for the short term, but then also for the long term. And hopefully the Leo energy will let you revitalize your routine. And as you get into new habits that you'll be setting in this time, like getting back into the grind of things after the crazy Leo ride, it will be, refreshed with this Leo energy. Then we've got not only long-term, like multiple decades long-term Pluto in the 11th house. We also have that super moon, full moon, blue moon, days around August 19th, accentuating the 11th house there. The Aries Libra eclipse cycle that is continuing is not only accentuating the sign of Aries and Libra, but also our Aries and Libra houses, which is me versus we. All of that Gemini energy is accentuating our Gemini house. We may become obsessed about something that we're studying or that we're putting out, a book or information coming in and coming out. Especially obsessive is the word with Mars there this month. But we are in this long-term venture of studying or teaching or compiling or researching from now into June 2025. If you love the dates and you want more dates, go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in there, get the welcome letter, click on the archive, put in August 2024 astrology, get my sweet and salty list, and you'll know more things about that month. If you want to take advantage of my double blue moon promo, where you sign up for my astrology certification course and you get all the rest of the courses in my school for free, go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.